Oh, nurse, I'm ready for my sponge bath.
That's Nurse Burn to you.
Ah, it burns! Ah, ah.
What's up everybody in YuGiOh YouTube land? This is Jesse Burn representing Team FTK, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Nurse Burn deck. So Nurse Burn is a deck that basically makes your opponent take life points, or gain life points, excuse me, and then reverses the cycle, so makes your opponent just go burn for all that damage instead. And this is going to be my budget version. I'm not playing Pot of Extravagance or Card of Demise in this deck, just because I want it to be more of a budget option. I'm not going to go all out and spend a few $100s to make Nurse Burn. So I wanted to show you guys a fun, cool, anti-meta rogue deck that is also burn, which is my specialty. So if you guys like this video, make sure to hit a thumbs up on the video. Comment and subscribe as well. Please also make sure to check us out on PayPal and Patreon. It really helps us make better videos and it helps us get more stuff to make videos. Also, if you guys want to get a sweet playmat like the one in this video, make sure to click the link in the description for Inked Gaming. Enter the promo code TEAMFTK10 to get 10% off of your order today. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. We run 3 Nurse. Of the Dark Lord, she used to be Replicule of the Fallen, but now she's a Dark Lord, which is really cool because you can search her out through other cards. And basically what she does is if your opponent gains life points, they take that damage instead. So if you activate a card like Gift Card, give your opponent 3,000 life, they actually take 3,000 damage instead. This is really good for pulling off the OTK/FTK. And yeah, she's just a really good monster. Always been one of my favorites. She's basically a nurse who was burned, so now she's burning other people is what it looks like basically. Then we have 3 of the Dark Witch. This lets you basically special summon the nurse from the deck by tributing its quick effect. Also, what it lets you do is it lets you add a forbidden card like Forbidden Lance or Forbidden Chalice, but we're not playing that because we want to focus just on the burn. And she's really good because she also has 2,000 defense, so if you open this at a time, you can set it face down and just chump block for the next turn. Then we run 2 Lilith. Lilith is really busted to help you get to your combo pieces faster. It dodges Ash Blossom and it dodges Drawn Logbird because it sets it straight from deck to field. It's really good, and it is one of the better normal summons of the deck. But you don't always want to normal summon it, so it comes up kind of cloggy because we do run 9 monsters in the deck. But it's still really good because it's 2 more copies of Trap Trick basically, so it's what you need in the deck, and I really like running Lilith. Moving on to the spells, we run a lot because we want a lot of draw power. 3 Dark World Dealings. This card lets you draw a card and then discard a card. That's the only thing that's on the text, because you want to keep drawing cards and just keep drawing and pushing on to get to your OTKs. 3 Into the Voids. If you control 3 or more cards in your hand, you get to draw a card, so you want to activate Into the Void, Into the Void, Into the Void, just to keep drawing cards and to get you to those combo pieces like your Try and Guesses, your Gift Card, and your Path of Destiny. Then we run 3 Pot of Duality. You don't really special summon except for with your Witch, so this is the only time you really special summon. So you want to play Pot of Duality just to dig for more resources, because it really helps out in that way just by revealing and picking one. So more deck thinning is always good. Then we run 3 Banishments, which this does basically is it lets you add a Dark Lord from your deck to your hand, so you can just add Nurse straight from your deck to your hand just by activating this card, which is really good. So you might think it's a little weird that we run 3 copies of this and we run 3 copies of our Witch as well, but it's really necessary just to get to the Witch as fast as possible, just to get to Nurse as fast as possible, because we don't have cards to search out Bad Reaction to Simulche because it's a continuous trap card, so we want to have as much cards to search out our other engines in this deck. So moving on to the other spell card that sucks, but you have to play it, is 3 Called by the Graves. The reason this sucks that you have to play it is because this could be 3 more draw cards, but Ash Blossom and Draw and Lockbird are so prevalent in the game. Ghost Ogre does nothing against the deck, but you want to be able to activate Called by the Grave on Ash Blossom and on Draw and Lockbird, and just on anything that's going to try to stop you from drawing. Then we play 2 Potted Desires and 1 Upstart Goblin. So Desires I absolutely hate running in any deck, except for it's a type of deck where you need like all your resources as fast as possible, so I can play it in the deck. I would run 3 if I had 3. Right now I only have 2. The disgusting thing about Upstart Goblin under Bad Reaction to Smolche or underneath Nurse is that your opponent burns for 1,000 while you draw a card. I wish this card was still back at 3 because it really does help when you don't open one of the combo pieces and you get your opponent down 1,000 more, and then you get to draw a card, and then you draw into the combo piece 9 times out of 10 is really good. And then the fact that it burns your opponent is even better. Then I'm playing 1 Contract with the Dawn 1000. I really don't know how I feel about this card. I'm back and forth. This is my replacement for the 3rd Desires because I don't have a 3rd Desires. So basically what this does is you activate this, both players take 1,000, then they have to draw a card, both players draw a card, then both players have to reveal their hands if they have any spell cards in their hands, and they can't activate them, they can't normal summon. So basically this is really good for that reason, and a lot of players don't know how to play out of it. Literally when I used to play this in Trickstars, I would play this and then I would set all my spells and traps and my opponent wouldn't know what to do because they would be playing a deck like Blue Eyes and they need to have a monster to require a spell for something like Trade-In or Cards of Consonances, and this basically just stops them from doing that because they have to be able to normal summon before they can activate some of their spells and so on and so forth. So a lot of people don't know how to play around this card, so you might catch some people off guard with it. It's a very underrated card. I like it for the burn factor because if you open up, say, 2 of your traps and you open up Upstart Goblin plus Contract with the Dawn 1000, you draw 2 cards, then you put in the extra 2,000 damage. So it's really good. It's definitely a good tech choice to play. Moving on to the traps, the Heart and the Soul is 3 gift cards. So I was going to do this deck profile like 4 months ago probably, but the reason that I couldn't do it is because I ordered one off of TCG Player and it never came in the mail, so that was $5 right down the drain. But besides from that, I had to order another one off of Amazon, and it finally got here like 2 weeks ago, so I was finally able to do this deck instead of 4 months later, just like, you know, whenever it happens. So run 3 of this. Basically what it does is it makes your opponent gain 3,000 life points, so it's absolutely like I said before, completely disgusting underneath the Nurse or underneath Bad Reaction, which you'll see, because it makes your opponent take 3,000. So if you open up 3 of these, that's 9,000 damage, that's game. You can also search it out through Lilith and through Trap Trick. So then try and guess. The way that you play this card is you declare a extra deck monster, Fusion, XYZ, or Synchro. The player who has more of that type gains 3,000. So you call Fusion, your opponent is playing Thunder Dragons, they have tons of Fusions, you're playing an extra deck full of Synchros for no reason because nobody plays Synchros. Then under Bad Reaction to Smolche or under the Nurse, your opponent takes 3,000 damage. So if you open 3 of these, it's 9,000 damage. And you can search them because they're all normal traps. Path of Destiny, each player flips a coin. If it's heads, they take 2,000. If it's heads, they gain 2,000. If it's tails, they lose 2,000. So under Replicule or under Bad Reaction, it's another 2,000 damage. So if you open 1 of these, plus 1 of these, plus 1 of these, it's 8,000 damage. All these cards are searchable also. So it's basically that all these cards do 3,000 damage, and then this card does 2,000 damage. So it still will get you to your 8,000 damage that you need to do by making your opponent gain life. So you're basically making them gain life and burning them at the same time with 3 bad reactions to Smolche. This card is the only card that's not searchable because it's a continuous trap card, but this is this card's text. So if your opponent gains life points, they take it instead. You activate an Upstart Goblin, you activate a gift card, you activate Try and Guess, Path of Destiny, any cards that make your opponent gain life points, this burns them instead, so it just basically punishes them. So what you want to do is open this or open this with any combination of these 3 trap cards, Path of Destiny, Try and Guess, or gift card, and that is game. Automatic 8,000 to 9,000 damage in 1 turn. So that is the reason why Nurse Burn has played, because it's basically just a win con in and of itself just by flipping a couple cards. Then the last card we play is 2 Trap Trick. This is the only part of the deck that is not budget because this card's like 20 bucks last time I checked. I don't know, it's been a really long time. It's probably got reprinted since then, but it is a $20 card nonetheless, so this is a little less budgety. If you want to, you can, take out this Trap Trick, add in a 3rd Lilith, and then you could play like a Lava Golem or something right here just to substitute. But in general, there's no real substitution for Trap Trick, just like there's probably no real substitution for playing Card of Demise. This is just like a budget variant to basically show you guys some options, but this card is really good, and what it does is it lets you banish a normal trap card to set a normal trap card from your deck, and it dodges Ash Blossom, it dodges, Drawn Log Burden, and gets you access to all these cards, which are all the cards that are going to burn your opponent for high amounts of damage. And yeah, so that's going to end up the main deck. I'm going to show you guys this busted deck, extra deck, because it's so important. So we run just basically 15 synchro monsters because nobody plays synchros, because if you play Try and Guess, you want to call fusion because everybody's running at least 1 or 2 fusions in their extra deck. So that's still more fusions than you because you only run synchros, and then your opponent will take 3,000 damage with Try and Guess. So that is the point of the extra deck. So that's the reason why if you guys have Pot of Extravagance or Intelligence, whatever they're calling the new pot card nowadays, you can just banish these synchro monsters because they don't matter anyways. But I thought I would show you them again because they're pretty. So moving on to the side deck, 2 Magic Deflector, we don't want to get Twin Twistered. 2 Book of Eclipse because Thunder Dragons kind of shits on our deck, so we want to just be able to be like, hey, flip all your monsters face down, we can play Yu-Gi-Oh again. Then we play 2 of this Abyss, whatever, Herald of the Abyss. It's just another out to Thunder Dragons. 2 Threatening Roar, searchable under Trap Trick and Lilith, and it just ends the battle phase. Scapegoats, why not? Curse of Darkness, just basically GG on any deck that runs a lot of spells. So Sky Strikers, what this does is whoever activates a spell card takes 1,000 damage. So if you activate 5 spell cards that turn, you're taking 5,000 damage. Then we have this, because Necroffs, Thunder Dragons, Pendulums, and Froggies are a thing right now, so 2-dimensional barrier. Search it out through Trap Trick and Lilith, pretty good. Then we have the 1 Solemn Warning, because this deck loses to Danko Senko hard. Auto lose. So you want to flip this, pay 2,000 life points, negate that summon if you're lucky enough to draw this, because it's a counter, not a normal trap card. Alright, so that was Jesse Byrne representing Team FTK, showing you guys my Nurse Burn deck. If you guys like this deck, like I said before, please check us out on Patreon, PayPal, links are in the description. Also check us out on Eat Gaming. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell for more notifications. Yeah. Alright.